This is our paranormal podcast because this is our paranormal community, and we want to support you here on RU Media Network. We are proud to be sponsored by the Haunted Hinsdale House in Hinsdale, New York. Here are your hosts, Brian Mersall and Sean Gilmore.
Welcome, everybody, to our paranormal podcast. Man, it's been 2 weeks since we've had a show. It's been a wild and crazy 2 weeks. So we apologize. We've missed you guys. We had family stuff we had to take care of. We had St. Patrick's Day, which is a whole nother thing we had to take care of. But Brian, I hope everything's well with you.
Good. Likewise for you, Sean.
Good. Yeah, everything's good, man. I got a new computer. Everything's smooth now. You guys won't hear me complaining about that anymore, so that's good. And we have an amazing guest on today. Amazing. I'm so excited. It's Rob Thompson. Let the adventure begin.
Let it begin.
Yes.
It has to be done.
So real quick, just so everybody knows a little bit about Rob Thompson, he founded and directs the Ghost Finders on. Right now, I think you can find it on Amazon.
Yeah, we're on Amazon Prime. There are, I believe, 8 episodes there now, and of course they've suspended all indie film and TV publishing for whatever reason. So there's 8 episodes on there, and there's a whole bunch of episodes on the Spirit Channel, which is a channel on Roku. With little box things, with the, and then you can also find us on VidiSpace, which is now Quasm, QOSM.
Maybe that's why I couldn't find it. I tried to find VidiSpace.
Yes,
and it wouldn't load.
It just, well, you know what? They're transitioning with their rebrand, and so it's spectacular things are happening. Of course, I'm sworn to secrecy, but it's really huge. Something gigantic and huge. And of course, the timing is perfect because with, Amazon saying, no, we're too good for indie content anymore. It's a perfect opportunity for someone to say, well, guess what? We are the paranormal community, all right? We don't do anything else. We are the paranormal community, so we'll build our own network. And that's exactly what Elizabeth has done. And awesome. She's just an absolute sweetheart and a rock star, and I think it's just going to go from here through the roof with the content that they're going to be showing and already are.
That's awesome. Is that the Paraflix that's coming out? Or it just dropped? Paraflix just dropped.
No, that's another. That's another. No, VidiSpace has been around for a few years, and and so, this is Quasm is going to feature kind of like all of the above, sort of umbrella of the paranormal, and it's going to, and it has been, for a number of years under VidiSpace. But yeah, so we've got 8 episodes. I think actually we've got 10 or 11 episodes up on there, and there's a new episode going to be popping. Not to be confused with Pip Pip Cheerio. That's going to pop in a few days, actually, the 2nd of April, Good Friday, and that's going to be a special event on Quasm, VidiSpace/Quasm. So you can find out more about that. Actually, we're going to I think we did a post about that today, or we're going to be tomorrow or Friday. So that's good. That's Fort Mifflin in Philadelphia, and I know you'll all know Fort Mifflin.
Yeah.
Gosh, what a treasure trove of just spiritual mecca, like paranormal mecca. I mean, because it's this big, fat, juicy paranormal onion. Layer after layer after layer after layer after, you've got the Revolutionary War, and you've got the Civil War, after used for prisoners, and all of these spirits that are unaware of each other, the vibe that I get. I didn't so much as walk through the gate, and it started hitting me because there was spirit there with German, French, Irish. I mean, every accent. There were political, not just war prisoners. There were political prisoners that were kept there too. I don't want to give too much away, but it is a 1 hour event on Good Friday that's going to make your Good Friday a freaking awesome Friday.
That's awesome. I did see online that there is a little bit of an ownership change going with VideoSpace. So I thought when I tried to open VideoSpace, because I have a VideoSpace account, me too. I was like, oh, maybe it has something to do with that. I didn't really question too much about it. I was just going to look to see if I was going to be charged next month for it. That was like it. So, but that's awesome that it's still there, and I'm still going to be able to have that content because that's where all of your guys' new stuff is. And I to be honest, I mean, there's I got VideoSpace just for a couple different shows, and then it's just there's a lot of great other that's products on there too. But the reason why I got it was I'm friends with Dan Class, so it was for you guys, and also
my brother.
Yes, he's a good guy for sure. And actually in April next month, I'm taking Brian to the Hinsdale House for his first time. He is in for such a treat.
Brian, oh my gosh. This is like, gosh, this is going to be like the, are we sort of adult radio?
Yes, say whatever you want.
This is going to be sort of like your great uncle taking you out to get your cherry picked, in the red light district of Amsterdam, but no comparison, there as far as, but no, I mean, in terms of it just, it's like you haven't gone out of state and your first vacation is Alaska, in terms of that type of a location. It changed how I think, because I always used to associate a lot of the places by size of the God friggin' hospitals, Waverly Hills, acres and acres. Oh, thank goodness that's going to take 160 miles of cable. Back in the day when we did things the Taps way, and no, not at all. It's looks can be deceptive. This place is an all-encompassing paranormal roller coaster ride that just doesn't stop. It just goes on and boom. So, but then you would know that if you saw our episode there at the Hinsdale House, that is also on on those channels But so all I can tell you is I saw 2 images that will stay with me forever there at the Hinsdale House.
Okay.
One was of a little girl on the stairs as you go in. All right. And you'll see me talk about that on the episode as well. And then another one was, there were several. Another one was a face that just appeared to me downstairs, both of which I painted. I have some of the more prolific spiritual connections, whether it just be a visual, a disembodied face, or whatever, or a full-blown channeling, then I'll paint, because I paint. Say I'm Da Vinci or anything, but I do paint, and so I'll snapshot paint that. So I did that, and I had a picture of the face and of the little girl, and it was finished, and I glazed it, so when I was done, and it was just drying here in the home studio, and and Heather's like, I really like the pictures. I'm like, but she's like, I don't want to work in there anymore if you're not gonna, please take them down.
They're kind of creepy, huh?
Why? And she was like, I am not going in there if those pictures are up, please. And, she said it in a more convincing way.
Yeah.
Right.
And so she won, as she always inevitably does. And they're in a box over here. I don't know if you want to see, but
Absolutely.
Love to. We'd definitely love to.
Hang on,
and hey, while he's gone, always happy wife, happy life.
Happy people like that. Absolutely right. Yes, you're a very wise man.
Awesome. All right. Hello, everybody. Hi, B. Shaw. Thank you for joining us. Sherilyn, thank you for joining us. Ginger Crumb, thank you for joining us. Aaron Kasmarsik, as always, it's awesome to see you. You guys are seriously in for a treat tonight.
Hi, Gloria. Yes, everyone is.
Oh man, guys, seriously. So Rob's only available for the first hour today, but after that, I'm going to show a clip. It's a pretty long clip, but it's of a seance that he does where he channels. And guys, this is amazing. And we're really going to talk about the stuff that he does, and it's just so cool. So guys, make sure to stick around to see it, and we're going to see him in action as soon as he has to go. So,
all right.
Yeah, and now we get to see his artwork, which is amazing.
You're going to see me in action? I didn't think it was that kind of show.
No, I was talking. We're going to show the clip. I was sent a clip of the seance from one of your investigations, the Bergen House, and
wow,
that is beautiful.
Thank you. When I painted, it was actually we were up there the second time we were up there. It was in the summer, but I painted it recently. Needs no explanation. There it is, the Hinsdale House in all its glory, and acrylic on canvas. These are all going to be made prints of, and they'll be at the Hinsdale House. This I don't even want to talk about. Just way too weird. Okay, to show you the stuff that's more pertinent to this specific conversation. Okay, so this is the little girl that I saw on the stairs.
Hold on? Can we? Brian? How do you do this? There we go.
Oh,
wow!
And I saw her.
That is amazing.
As you go in, you go into the kitchen, and then from the mudroom to the kitchen, and then to the and she was stood right there.
wow.
And it was so sad. And then the face that I saw there, that will, pun intended, haunt me forever. This is the face that I saw. It was not even 2 seconds. It was gone.
Okay. Oh. You can feel the energy coming off of that. Wow.
Every single person says that when they see it.
Wow.
Wow.
And this was at the Hinsdale House.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's my representation of what I saw.
Wow. Oh, that's scary too. Whoa.
This is understatement of the year.
Right.
Just a bit creepy.
Wow. Now I see why. I see why that request was made to take those down. But I mean, first of all, you are an amazing artist. Do you ever commission these pieces?
So I've never been commissioned to do a piece. I just really feel it, and I have to get up sometimes 4 a.m, and I just boom, boom, boom. And then she wakes up and she's like, "What the hell are you? Oh my God, are you going to clean that up, right?" And I'm like, So my daughter is in on it too. She paints as well. Often we'll paint next to each other, not at 4 a.m. But Mothman is her latest thing.
Ooh.
Okay.
So, and she's 4. Lily is 4 years old.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's not scary at all.
No. Wow. Okay.
Straight out of the movie.
But you could definitely get a gallery. You could definitely get a gallery set up. That is the artwork is amazing, but the energy that's there, and you can feel it. I don't know. I'm an empath, so I think that the energy that you put into that is just. I've always loved artwork. You leave a piece of yourself in that canvas, and when you're doing it, and you're doing it through using your psychic abilities, part of that energy gets transferred onto the canvas, and it's really, really amazing.
Yeah, I think so. That's why I want to share with that, and I'm making prints that will be available at danielclass.com and at the
nice.
house itself. And so, but we're not here to talk about all of that stuff.
Okay.
So you're in for a treat, Bri. You know.
Yes. I'm excited.
I just wish I was closer.
It's honestly coming up.
It is. It's coming up real quick.
Less than a month.
When are you going? Okay.
It's the second week of.
It's like April 17th. Is that right? I have to look at a calendar. Hold on.
I have to too. Yeah, it's like Saturday, 17th.
April 17th. We're going with Mike Ricksecker, and I am so sorry if you're watching because I don't remember your name.
Mike is great.
Mike is a great guy. He's a good friend of mine.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember we were all at the Ohio State Reformatory, and Shawn invited me out, and we just heard some crazy walking around up on like the top level, which I didn't even think you can get to. But we like shimmied up there, and there's Mike just sitting up there doing like his live investigation or whatever. I said, Mike, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, like I haven't worked with Mike. We've been on podcasts and stuff together, and I'm looking forward to working with him. But from everyone speaks highly of him and tells me about how in the zone, he gets like when he's like just and that's passion for you, and that's what I love about what we do.
Right. Definitely. I mean, he the way he does for the paranormal, all of his podcasts, his books, everything he does, you can tell. I mean, his passion's definitely there, and it's really an honor to be friends with somebody like him, and to be able to do stuff like this with him. This is, I think, going to be like my third or fourth investigation with him, and it's always a treat to be with him, and where I have met Dan before, I haven't gotten to investigate with him. I think that we should all get together and collaborate. Since, I mean, the Hinsdale House helps sponsor the podcast. It only seems, Dan, if you are watching.
I think if the four of us got together, I think it'd be a good time. We could be in a like a telephone kiosk squashed in, and we'd have a great time. No, maybe that's a good analogy. That's probably not a good analogy.
But I would honestly, I would love to see what you do in action. I have done a lot of spirit circles. I've done a lot of seances, but I have never seen anyone channel the way that you do. And it's amazing to me. I just haven't seen it in person. I mean, I've seen people channel, of course, being in seances and spirit circles, but with you do what kind of, honestly, I don't know. I would kind of be scared if spirit comes in. It seems like they like take over.
Yeah. It's so at that point, because that was that talking about the Virgin House, right?
That's one of them, but yeah.
But that particular one was like 2 or 3 years ago. And so back then I was really just starting to come out as a medium. And because I'm very, green to this as far as, developing my skills. Back then I really wasn't shielding like I should have been. So I was putting myself at risk. And, a very lovely lady who we'll all have heard of, Jessica Potter, the medium, wonderful medium, and she gave me some fantastic advice when we were at an event together, and started telling me how to shield, and how the importance of it, and so I'm less at risk nowadays, but I kind of felt like a bit of a guinea pig there because in that particular situation, it was like cat and mouse. There were 3 or 4 entities, spirits that came to me that manifested and then channeled through me, and one was literally running from the other. It was a little girl. I mean, we'll see the clip, but one is a little girl, and then another one is a very sick, twisted, very dark, evil. Clearly not an entity of heaven, because you wouldn't retain that sickness. And then someone else. Then we broke free, and then finally he came back in. Spoilers, yeah, you'll see it anyway in a minute. But yeah, it was it. After that, I was like knocked out. I think I did one more. I think about 25, maybe an hour after that. Then I had to sit down for a couple of hours and it's just like regain, reground, and regroup. It was very disturbing for me because I hadn't. There was only sort of maybe a couple of occasions before that I'd experienced anything like as heavy as that. And
I believe it.
And to do it in front of people, all those people around the table, that was my first one doing a seance like that.
Wow, that's what you do. And I mean, there is I forgot the location. There's another one I was watching where you were affected by spirit. You were standing there, and it was you and I'm so horrible with names. The other gentleman that was on. This is all on Amazon Prime, so it was probably the episode after, because I was just sitting there watching. I binge watch. I get off. I work late, so I get off work and I just binge watch everything. It's been a while, but I think it was like in a jail or something.
Yeah. That I was gonna say it was the in Philly the
yes
the that's all, folks. What the heck's the name of that place? Come on, Brian, Shawn.
Oh, I can't. I can.
Right. Someone say.
There's Palmyra Museums, and then there's
Philadelphia.
Eastern States Penitentiary.
Eastern State Penitentiary. There we are. Thank you, whoever.
Actually, I opened up Amazon Prime real quick. But yeah, if anyone, I don't even have StreamYard. There it is. There it is. That
place gave
Heather. Thank you.
Boom. There she is. There is my other hat. And you know what? What a fantastic partner / editor / she just got her bachelor's degree in audio production, as well as babysitting we were all raising our 4-year-old and this baby here.
Great.
And taking care of household all on one finger. So, but
That's awesome.
Eastern State Penitentiary, it was just like madness. Just madness. You know that scene in Silence of the Lambs where Hannibal Lecter, where he says, "So you think you can dissect me with that blunt little tool, Clarice?"
Hello, Clarice.
with your cheap, with your southern drawl and your cheap shoes.
Yes.
And so it was like that. Walking down there, it was just like that. It were like faces just flashing, being shown to me of occupants of certain cells. There were only about like 4 cells or 5 cells in the whole place out of the hundreds that were actually open, which a bit disappointing, but got to understand they can't, in terms of safety, they have to have certain rules in place.
Right.
But it's a great location. I mean, it really is. No Al Capone. I was a bit disappointed. Chatted away. No, Al wasn't coming through.
No.
I wanted to. Yeah, no. I was hoping to get a pizza sauce recipe or something.
Something.
Yeah.
You've got to know that when he's Italian, it had to be the guy loves food. What can I tell you? But yeah, I think that the Virgin House is a jewel in the crown of Western New York. I think it's just it's high test. It's really high test. It's not like for the weak of heart. Terrible things happened in that place.
It seems that way from what you guys saw, what you guys explained. They of course, you guys give a little bit of the history and the first of all, the seance is one of the most intense seances I've ever seen, and then the investigation afterwards. You guys got some of the most amazing evidence, very intelligent interactions through the spirit box SB11 the entire night. It just, that place just seems like the very intelligent haunting, and they know, and they knew what you were capable of, and it seemed like they took advantage of it a little bit.
Well, we had Corey with us from was a guest with us, and she'd never been to anything like like a ghost hunt or anything. So you can imagine her reaction, and she was like to the other side of me, and all I know is just like it just started ramping up and up and up, and I felt a couple of eyes roll, when I started feeling something. I wasn't channeling yet, and then boy, did that stop when corroborative stuff started happening in sync in the same time right after each occurrence. You'll see in there, it was I think above and beyond anything that we expected. There's a lot of places, every place is different, right? And not just every place is different, every place at a different time with a different group is different. But yeah, above and beyond what we expected. Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's great. I mean, even like when you started the channel and you would say something and then this SB11 just would like blurt out. I don't even know what it was like. Blank. I was like, well, what is that? That was insane. And it was just like almost in retaliation of what was going on with you guys or a response at least. And that was just really neat. And it seems like you guys get a lot of that. And it's do you think that with your channeling that you do that kind of you kind of maybe, I don't know if attract is the right word, but maybe it makes it easier for your team to get the type of evidence that you guys get on your show, because you guys get some really good stuff.
I think thank you. I appreciate that. And it's a double-edged sword, Shawn, because if you don't get much, we'll still it's still an episode, we'll still but there are things that happen if you get like all manner of stuff goes kaboom, and then it's off the scale, and stuff lighting up like a Christmas tree, like there, or at Bell Grove episode, which is another crazy one. Then some people will be like, "Oh, come on! There's no way that we don't get stuff like that. Come on."
Yeah.
And if you don't get enough, then they were like, "Well, nothing much happened there." So and it's not like we're trying anything. I think that the whole point is, you mentioned speeding up or being a catalyst for us to get stuff. It's certainly, I wouldn't say it was me at all. I think it's the entire team and our attitude and our intention. Nice. Your intention. This is the spiritual, metaphysical world. Okay, your intention is, you don't have to have it written on a T-shirt. I'm a nice guy, or I'm a dick and I had a few beers before I came. No, it's radiating out of you. Your energy is coming off you. All right. You got one person who's with you who thinks that this is a big shit show and just is about throwing rocks, pretending he's a ghost or she's a ghost, and farting and bringing a piece of pizza in their jacket. Then, unfortunately, that vibe is going to really let down everything that you're doing. So I think that our catalyst is foremost is our attitude and our MO. okay, our modus operandi, our way of doing business. But as soon as we show up, we have Megan oftentimes do a gift giving or a friendship ritual, so that whoever was before us, maybe not a problem, but who, if there was someone before us that were, because hundreds of groups and shows go through these places, that were less than scrupulous and less than respectful, suddenly Spirit is like, oh, wait a second, maybe these, I've never seen that before. Oh, that's kind of nice.
Yep.
Okay, well, because it's based on trust. It's all about trust.
Definitely.
It's all about trust. It's not about wandering in there and going, show yourself now. Right? Not any names, but and but if you think about it, right? What are you going to do? Someone bangs on your door at 4 a.m. Can be like, open the door. Hey, what's up? I don't know you, but come on in, have a cup of coffee. I'll make you a sandwich. Or if they're like, sorry to wake you, I'm broken down the road. Can you call AAA? My number, AAA number, blah 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 blah. You're gonna help. You're probably gonna help them, right?
Yeah.
It's all about how you're perceived. It's all about how you are delivering your approach. And so, that Megan is our catalyst, really, in that regard, and our attitude and our intention is why we get, not always, but in a lot of cases, in some cases, a lot of really good stuff.
Okay. I could definitely, I always talk about intention, and to me, intention it's huge, especially dealing with the paranormal and supernatural in any aspect. Your intention is very important. Whether if you're using a scrying mirror or if it's a spirit board, an EVP session, your intention is huge. Even if your intention is slightly off, it can throw things off. And it's not just so you won't necessarily get any reaction, but it can also be the negative reaction. So,
right.
And when you have a team that's tight knit, you're a family, you have that trust, and that brings a whole level that brings the investigation to a whole nother level, and that's so neat to experience. And I hope that a lot of investigators get to experience that, because that's when you get the best experiences. And you know what, they might be personal experiences, but those a lot of times are the best. You had mentioned that the flash of a face. I got a flash of a face at a private resident investigation, and that was like one of the only things that happened in the home. But this was at a home in Akron, Ohio.
Okay.
It was a flash of a man. He had a brown beard. It was just like really, really quick flash. I was in the basement, and it was one of the very few things that happened the entire night while we were there. But that definitely let us know that there was something there. So it's when things like that happen, I mean, stuff like that. If you are on edge, let's say you're investigating with somebody who you don't know very well, you're not going to be as open for something like that to happen,
right?
So I think that's awesome that you guys have that, and that shows in your documentaries as well.
Thank you. Yeah, that wasn't always sort of the case. When I started doing this 10 years ago, and by that point I'd been living in the States for 10 years, I just, I'd been doing investigations, and then, someone came up to TAPS was born, and all of a sudden that was, it was like all starting up. And I just started video documenting it. And then one day, someone from a local TV station was just like, my God, that's so good. I couldn't sleep, like, can we put that on? And I'm like, it's not edited. It's video of what don't worry about it, So, and then it sort of turned really unexpectedly into, two passions of mine have always been the paranormal and filmmaking. The only two things in my life that I've ever truly, really, in my bones, in my blood cells. Okay. I grew up in a 17th century mansion in the United Kingdom. My mother was a housekeeper there. We weren't, the well-to-do. So she was the help, and we lived in a flat sort of servants' quarters, and I was seeing all kinds of shit right and left from about the age of 6, 7 years old. My first big encounter was at the age of 11 in that mansion, and that's what and another one at age 11, and those things are really, that place is what lit the fuse for me.
It's awesome. You actually answered my very next question. What got you into the paranormal? How cool is it that you got to experience living in a place like that? I've always thought, like, okay, living here in the States, compared to the rest of the world, we are a new country. So there's a lot of history here, yes, but we're only a couple hundred years old. When you go across the pond there are thousands of years of history. And it's I could only imagine. I haven't gotten to go yet. One of these days I'm going to go, and it's going to be, I know it's going to be I couldn't imagine the energy just walking into a cemetery, because the cemeteries have layers, and it's just, I couldn't imagine.
It is the same. It's the same feeling I got actually way and above and beyond that when I was first in Egypt, when I first touched down in Egypt 20 odd years ago. Same type. I mean, my local pub in the village back in Shurston in the UK, that's like 500 years old. Yeah. So, but I don't think even to this day there's a date above, the door or anything. It's just, it looks probably very similar to it, to how it did. And some of their snacks behind the bar are still 500 years old. But there are a lot of places that will speak to you, like either just via TV, you see them, you feel something, and it's calling out to you. And right now, and certainly probably for the last 6 or 7 months or so, Alaska has been doing that for me. And so you're going to be seeing some Alaska stuff.
That's really cool.
At some point, we'll be there at some point this year, depending on what happens with the Big C.
There's everything going on.
Yeah, that's really cool. It seems like Alaska is coming. It's like an up and coming paranormal kind of location. There's just so much. I mean, like I said, we're a new country, but there's still a lot of old history with Native Americans.
Yeah.
But it can be hard to tap into that. Not every, like, if you go to the Hinsdale house, chances are you're going to run into something that's Native American, I think. When the first time I was there, I ran into something Native American. I very much believe. So.
Yeah, as did I. Yeah, there was a I don't know if it was a chief or what hit the hierarchy was, but there is a prevalent Native American presence there that sort of presides over the place. I think it's really attached not necessarily so much to the Hinsdale house, but to the mountain, because it's all there. It's all there because it's all in indigenous land. We're the non-indigenous people, We're so that's another conversation. Don't get me on a
right
soapbox about that. Like liberal, and it's just fascinating to me to be fascinating. It's on honor. It's when you're channeling someone who walked the earth, ate and pissed and slept and drank and fought and 50, 100, 200 years ago, 300, 400 years ago. My God, what a mindfuck.
Yeah.
And I just feel so honored when that happens. And sometimes I feel afterwards like I've just been violated in the most heinous way. If it's a very negative entity, and it won't just let go, you have to like almost cut off, and I'm still learning to do that. But Jessica Potter, taught me a lot of interesting techniques that I'm able to do that, and other mediums that I've worked with. I mean, I never came out as a medium until a couple of years ago. A really good friend who was a TV medium, Derek Akora from Most Haunted, and he said, Rob, you're given this gift for a reason. Don't be. Yeah, it's terrifying. But don't like. There's nothing worse than been given a blessing, a gift that's there for you to use to help other people, and not doing that. So I just put big boy pants on finally, and it was terrifying, and it is terrifying, because there are so many amazing, brilliant, talented, far more seasoned and extraordinary mediums that that are out there. That I'm very humbled, by when I see them. That it's just like, okay, but everyone's got to start somewhere, and I'd like to think that all I'm really at this point doing is honestly, just brutally honestly putting it out there. You're seeing what I'm seeing and feeling, but the funny thing is that I really don't particularly care afterwards to see what happened while I was out. I find it very uncomfortable. Because I have no memory. It's like someone showing you a video of your the hangover night before. Look what you dancing in the fountain with that alligator. And it's just like, that wasn't. Okay. Right.
I like what you said though about having the gift and actually being able to use it. And our gift to you, Rob, is a little section called Into the Abyss, where we're going to give you 13 fast-fire questions. You can answer them as quickly and as thoroughly as possible, my friend. Okay? So I'll give you numbers for references. So I'll say number 1 and number 13, and we'll carry on. All right?
13. Very good. Okay.
All right. Now let's do this, my friend. Are you ready?
Always.
Number 1. You use such a wonderful word, adventure. Let the adventure begin. Why is adventure such a significant word to you?
Because that's what this life experience is. It's an adventure, and it means something different to every single person within it. This life experience, this adventure, is all about perception. It's manifested. Well, a lot of people don't realize it's manifested from within you. If you wake up in the morning, Tuesday, I'm going to have a shitty day. Here we go. God, this is going to happen. Oh no, this is going to go wrong. Well, that's what you're willing. That's what you're sending out there. So that's what you're bringing in. And it hasn't always been the case, but when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, it's a brand new day. I'm alive. Thank God bless. Thank goodness. And I can do anything with this day. Anything can happen. Anything, wonderful things can happen. And I'm going to make them happen. So it is an adventure. And it's an adventure that we're all on together. And it's kind of like time we kind of woke up and realized that there's no fighting. This adventure is not about conflict or it's about unity, about union, and it's about love.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry. Thank you.
Wow. I don't know how to follow that up, but okay. How did you start your paranormal adventure? I know you were talking about your 300-foot mansion earlier, but how did you actually start?
300-year-old. 300 foot high. 300 years old. But anyway, I would just see all manner of things. I think we moved there. My mom got a housekeeping job there when I was about 6, maybe 5. I can hear her now. She's like, "No, Rob, you were 4.5." And you will be tomorrow. And it was just really sort of right from the get-go, I was just like, well, this is really a scary, big, humongous place, and corridors, dark, everything everywhere.
Yeah.
It just creeped me out. I was like, not thrilled about the move. And I started having nightmares. It was an easy breezy childhood. It wasn't the worst in the universe, but there were things that I feel that were coming to me as a result of what I was feeling.
Yeah.
It wasn't really necessarily the other way around. So I would see shadows. I would see a lady. I'd see a man in a suit that wouldn't fit him. That's like way too big, really weird, with high collars that would peer around the corner of my bedroom door.
Okay.
And a book coming off of a bookshelf. All kinds of hardcore stuff that I wasn't imagining. Maybe some of it I was, maybe some of it was lucid or dreaming, but that right there was what got me started. I was just like, I went from abject terror to wondering, well, what makes that real? What makes me able to see that?
Yeah.
Hear that? And of course, as most mediums will tell you, as many will tell you, I spent probably the first 30 odd years of my life after that just assuming I was completely bonkers.
Yeah.
Which I probably also am. But that's fine. That's okay. As I think it was the crow guy. What's his name? That said that I had long bouts of insanity with terrible bits of sanity in between.
Yeah.
You're saying you have to be kind of a little bit special to be able to deal with some of the shit that other people would definitely not be able to handle.
Correct.
But I try not to project that, and I just try and get on with it and realize that nothing is out to hurt me, and it can't hurt me unless I allow it to.
Okay.
God, we went off on a tangent there, didn't we?
Hey, that's great.
That's why it's called Into the Abyss.
Yeah. All right.
So your show's been around for about 10 years. Was there the standout year to you?
Was there a what? Sorry.
A standout year, a year that really, just was exponential in growth, or something that stood out to you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No two ways about it. It was really just this last 2 or 3 years. Because like a lot of families, it takes to. I mean, I can't really use that analogy because families, you're given what you're given, you've got what you've got.
Yeah.
But to find to sort of by attrition to find the team members that really fit together and worked the way that we work together now took 8 years. It was very much trial and error. We were, as a show, sort of experimenting with different ways of doing things. That didn't work. And trying to listen to viewer feedback and trying to up our production values as every way, shape, and form we could. But by far, I'd say season 9 was a turning point for us, where we started to do some of our best work on camera.
Yeah. Speaking of best work, how does someone grow such a magnificent beard like yourself? I mean, that thing is beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, I got to find a beard oil sponsor.
Honestly,
ask me. No, I'm like I think it's my I think it's the Celtic / Viking sort of genetics that I got, those two kind of together. And so, yeah, I got Irish, Scottish, English, and a little bit of Scandinavian, I think, mixed in there, according to these website places. But I'm not going to give them a free plug. So yeah, that's all of that. Dan and I are always teasing each other about the beard thing. With Dan and I are really interesting. I probably we'd make a reality show about our relationship off camera, because it's very Spock and McCoy type Star Trek. We sort of jib and tease each other back and forth, and I think that's one of the things that really makes this such a special relationship, such a special family.
Mm-hmm.
We just we know what we do and how we do it, and we sort of get on with it. There's tomfoolery before and after, but when we're in there, we get in there, we do it. Especially when you've got a film crew that are a professional film crew. Certainly this last 2 seasons, and they're on the clock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're like
yeah.
But
so what about your favorite pre-investigation meal?
My favorite what? Sorry?
Pre-investigation meal.
Yeah,
what do you eat before an investigation? What's your favorite meal?
Oh man.
Because listen, I hear so many times people say pizza, but that just creates the ghosts in their stomach. That's just too noisy. Okay.
Yeah, it creates a lot more too. Pandemic poundage. Not a good thing. That's hopefully when you see you'll see a new episode in 10 days or so. But you'll see hopefully a lot less of me, in future episodes, season 11, which technically is 3. Anyway, that is a good question, because I don't do it as much anymore. But to help pay the bills, we would sometimes get sponsors on location, and give them a plug in exchange for some of the most fantastic food. My favorite. Oh God, I don't want to piss anyone off. All of the there's so many.
What about just like the favorite type?
God, a favorite that would be the last shoot that we did back in September last year, and that would be a amazing spread of soul food. So that being southern soul food, shaker fried chicken and coleslaw and beans. There's this great guy called is a very, very good dear friend of mine for many years, Keith Taylor, and Chef Soul is his nickname that he goes by. You can look him up. He's been on Food Network and everywhere, and he's catered for us on a few occasions. I love southern soul food, so he came and as we frequently do, did craft services on location. So that's right up there. Honestly, there's a place in New York, Western New York, that is backyard bar. It's a backyard bar. Anyway, that is another. So I like barbecue food. I love all of that stuff. It's really sort of easy. Pizza, I don't find that before an investigation, the more carbs that I shove in my gullet, the more sort of I feel like I've swallowed another human being.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
I'm like, oh, carb. Yeah. So light, lots of protein, and lots of flavor.
Yes.
And I can't even remember if it's been a long time since I had a drink before an investigation, and by that I mean that actual day.
Yeah.
Just because I find alcohol to just more of a barrier, than
I agree.
else. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. that's bring him on. What are we at? Land number 5?
Yeah. This is number 6. What is the significance of your necklace?
So I identify as really eclectic.
Mhm.
So not one or another. I like the influences of different different religions.
Yeah.
Pagan being one of them. So this is the Thor hammer. And yeah, I mean it's there are a lot of things about the pagan culture that I find very compelling. Very compelling. The Vikings were survivors. They had to. They were warriors and they were explorers. They were constantly looking to push the envelope and get further and further and further afield. So there are a lot of things about the pagan culture that I like, among others. Buddhist as well. So who'd have thunk? This is pretty out there. But yeah. Oh, that was an easy one.
All right, well, what is
what my favorite chocolate bar?
Never know. It could come up.
Well, hey, yeah, you never know.
By the way, I'm just going to interrupt you, okay, because I'll get into trouble. But I'm going to tell you, all right, that the best rib house that man, you like ribs? You like barbecue?
Yeah.
Oh my God, you've got to try the Center Street Smokehouse, okay, and that is in near Gasport, New York. Anyway, so you got to check that out. That family are the biggest bunch of sweethearts, and but go the day before your investigation.
Yes.
You're gonna want to quaff the ale that from the local.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. All right.
You didn't heard beforehand, which could be a
plug.
Which would be a crazy experience in itself. Speaking of which, what's the craziest experience you've ever had on an investigation?
Wow. I'd say, looking back on it, the Virgin House one was pretty up there.
Yeah.
But there's also been there are occasions. They're all really kind of positive. I mean, disturbing. One time, I was in at a former hospital, and I was literally almost strangled to death on camera. It's like season 2.
Yeah.
Old, episode 8 years ago or something like that. That was terrifying.
To say the least.
Terrifying. Like I actually saw, like, okay, wow, this is the end and it's on camera. And why are you still filming this?
Yeah.
Not helping me, It was crazy. That was up there. There were honestly a lot of experiences that I've had that obviously you're not running a camera with camera crew 24/7. So, that have been off camera. That have been very profound. Some of them very disturbing. So, that would definitely be one of them.
That's up there.
Yeah.
So
silence this. Sorry.
That's okay. So describe the paranormal in 3 words.
3 words. No, okay. Now that's a good. There we go.
Right.
It was on the 3 words. Discovering the unknown.
I like it.
Nice.
Very generic. I'm not anything really profound, because it's so simple. It's so in your face, obvious, and for me, it's almost like a paradox.
Yeah.
a lot of people are like, no, that's not how it happens. Actually, oh, you got it wrong. No. When you're a medium, you do this. Is what happens. No. What? No, we're humans. We experience things differently. Each and every one of us has a different perception, a different opinion, has a different feeling, and a different needs. And that's not what makes it, bad. The very the very nature of this whole field and people's differing opinions and on theories on what creates this energy, what is attracted to it, what we can use to gauge, measure, everything from techniques to ideas, theories on how to get spirit to manifest. All of it is really, up for debate. It's we're not dead.
Yeah.
See how a group of people in a room appear through those eyes. Maybe we look like a ghost to them. We're hazy. Maybe we're black and white. Maybe we're color. Maybe we're green, eerie green. I don't know. And that's the beautiful thing about everything is we're together in that great void, in that unknown, looking to pull out what pockets we can of the stuff that we can piece together, this gigantic, endless paranormal puzzle together. So that's what it is for me. That's what this paranormal community is for me. But above and beyond that side of the paranormal community is this other fantastic side that I've just discovered over the last couple years, 2 or 3 years, of when something goes wrong. This great, humongous community are boom together, so unified, boom, there to help people, to help each other, to help people that aren't even a part of the paranormal community. And so it's a very, very, I just feel so honored to be a tiny, tiny little part of that community.
I like that.
Good people, great attitudes that will have your back every single time. As far as the drama, go and get a life.
Yes,
Or go and get an afterlife.
Ooh.
That's I'm gonna write that down. Can we get that? Go get an afterlife. No, because I'm not interested in all that drama. And the drama is negativity, and negativity goes against spirituality and against the light. And that's what makes, and that's at the essence, the core of the paranormal and paranormal research. So go do your drama. I don't own it. You do,
Correct. So number 9. What is your favorite iMovie Blair Witch style video you've ever made?
Gosh. You were taking notes, weren't you, when I started talking at the beginning?
I don't have these questions. I don't have these questions made out until I meet with you. So.
So.
I mean, that's just is the truth. I don't know. You're gonna wear a necklace,
I think.
This is Brian's, like, these questions, like, he comes with like the greatest
I love
things.
it. Yeah, it's
the funny thing is supposed to be fast fire, but it always trips everyone up. So
it does. Well, you make people think. That's what's good about it.
I think this is great. I think because you get asked such the same old questions normally, and I'm rocking it with this fantastic podcast. So gosh, that's a pretty tough one. You got me on the in the hot seat there. Okay. Nope. There it is. There it is. And honestly, there's very little that, unfortunately, so far that I found that even parallels it.
Okay.
It's probably the episode that is one of our most watched, but one of our now, years and years later, least known about until hopefully now.
Okay.
And that is our first time at Penhurst State School. /Penhurst Asylum. So get this, guys, right? Have either of you seen the episode there? I mean, I don't even know if it's still.
I have not.
I watched only, if it's on YouTube, I've only watched one or two of the ones on YouTube.
I think it's still up on YouTube.
Okay. I'll pull it up for sure.
We had to take some down because of Amazon's, rules and stuff. So that'll all be.
Okay.
But yeah, so we're there. There we are, in a doorway. Myself, Heather, who was then on cast as well, and at that time I was having guest mediums. I had a medium on the team that wasn't me because I hadn't come out as a medium. And we had sets of cameras filming 2 cameras.
Okay.
Both positioned at the same doorway and corridor.
Yeah.
One was a regular infrared night vision. The other one was a FLIR thermal camera, top of the range P150 or whatever, $100,000 camera that was lent to us by FLIR. And then we're filming the screens, the LCD screen of these 2 that are side to side. Why? Well, obviously, but as a control procedure. We start talking to this, what appears to be a figure that's slowly manifesting in the viewer.
Ooh.
It's only manifesting, get this, on the thermal, not on the regular infrared. That shows an empty doorway. Then it turns into a figure of what is very clearly, I mean, you can't, it's just indisputable, a little girl in a nightdress. And you see that it's the back of her. And Heather says, please don't be afraid of us. You're a beautiful little girl.
Yeah.
And it's the second she says that, there's like a second pause. And then she turns her head around and looks right at the camera.
Ooh.
Oh my God.
We're going to have to show that clip after this. Wow. Yeah.
It was, there's no 2 ways about it. It was the most mind-blowing thing up to that point anyway. And one of episodes ever. Yeah. And I wouldn't say it was Blair Witch, it wasn't quite that rough shot. But it was very clean, raw, honest paranormal investigating with no frills, or stingers, and there it is. Then at that same location, on that same shoot, on that same episode, which I think became a 2-parter because so much happened, we started hearing "Ring Around the Rosie."
Oh,
being
really
well. One of us, I think it was, I don't know if it was me or Heather. I went, and then 5 seconds later, it wasn't my echo. It was like 5 seconds after we heard.
Ew.
Yeah.
No way.
And then right at the end, fast forward right to the end of the episode, because you'll know the point in watching it now. And, you know what's going to happen. But at the end of the episode, we ask, would you like us to stay, or would you like us to? It was like a song by the Clash. Should I stay or
Should I go on? Yeah.
And then we asked that, I think, 5 seconds after.
Uh-huh.
And this wasn't an EVP, this was an AVP. Please go. Please go.
No way.
Oh yeah, like a nurse or a an orderly or a staff member, presumably. Yeah, it was chills. Chills are Rooney. I mean, And honestly, sadly, I haven't had every trip back to Penhurst since then. You always are like, oh, let this, but there's always something good that happens. I've never been empty-handed leaving Penhurst, but
Okay.
that, if it answers your question, was
It does.
and remains the most powerful episode that it's just hard to top when you get that.
Yeah, definitely.
Only one episode. 2 episodes. So Penhurst is amazing.
Well, good. So you touched on this a little bit earlier. Number 10. There's so many ways to conduct investigations. How does someone find their own style?
Well, I think you really just be you, and you go in there and you clear your mind and just go in there and feel the vibe, the place out. For me, it's always a different play, a different way, in a different place. I mean, for example, sometimes I'll sit, like, for example, the Burgeon House, which you're showing the clip of, the seance part of it.
Yeah.
I was sat like in the grounds, just meditating and just earthing.
Yeah.
Earthing barefoot right in the grounds for maybe an hour, a half hour, 40 minutes before we started really, getting into ready for shooting, and so that's sort of a luxury that not everybody sort of has. It's if you've got to lift and carry and help set up. I'm not. So, but just feeling the vibe of the place and connecting with the vibe of the ground that the place is built on. Don't forget, it was the earth for about 4 billion years before it was the house.
Yeah.
So people talk about connecting with the house. Connect first with the earth that it's built on, and who came before, and the ancients, and the spirit within that, and introduce yourself if you can. And that's why Megan will do our eclectic witch. She'll do the rituals that make our intentions really well known right from the get-go. Like sometimes as soon as we arrive, before we even start setting up. So that's my advice. That's how I do it. And of course, you're shutting off your breakers, get your baseline readings, get all your controls, if you can, in place.
Yep.
And be sort of like self-skeptic. I mean, to each their own.
Yes.
But I think that there's always a temptation for everyone to will that noise to have been a response. Just because it's human nature. So, yeah, I'm a victim of that too. I think there's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of adrenaline. I think you've got to try and channel that away and leave that on the doorstep, and just literally have goodness and love in your heart. Reach out, and if the intentions are good, then you might well get a response.
That's true.
You can have $100,000 worth of equipment, but if your intentions are bad, none of it matters a damn.
Okay, I agree with that. Number 11. What's the most profound case you've been a part of?
Dobbin. I would say the Dobbin house in Gettysburg.
Okay.
Just because it was the first time I really connected with a child spirit that was so playful. It kept going around me, and it's off the K2, but back and forth and up and down. And can you do that again? And I like, can you get up on the table? I don't know if you can float or what. it's supposed to be like a playful sort of Casper feeling.
Yeah.
And they responded. They loved it. Oh, let's make it flash. Let's make this chirp. Let's make that, and all of the power was off in the entire building. And the Dobbin House is one of the first buildings, one of the first standing structures in Gettysburg. Used to be a schoolhouse before that, and it was also part of the Underground Railroad. So there were spirits coming through with that. Yeah, it was all of those different aspects.
Yeah.
The slaves that were hidden away in a sort of Anne Frank house style, section of the house.
Yeah.
Obviously for the Underground Railroad. To the spirits of some of the children that resided there or were schooled there. I'd say, and then across the road from that, because I got to mention it because they're both on an even keel. I'd say the schoolhouse, the orphanage, the old orphanage in Gettysburg, where Rosa, God, I can't think of her last name, would literally, crazy evil woman would put children in barrels of iced water as punishment, and whip them and just atrocities.
Oh wow!
That place chilled me to the core, man. That just something else.
Good reason too.
Well, yeah, and I just lost. I'm a father, so I have 4 kids, and it got to me, and I lost it. Let's just say we had to cut, a few pieces out because I lost my temper, which I try not to do because of course that blocks the energies as well. And I said, why did you XYZ do those XYZ ABC?
Yeah,
right.
To those children, you ABC 1 2 3, and yeah. So Gettysburg, man, just bonkers. But yeah, the Dobbin House was definitely would be the answer to that.
Gotcha. So the last 2 questions here. You ready? What connects the paranormal world with the world of art?
Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Spirit, the spirit of what is inside you in terms of expression, an outlet for the spirit, and manifestation of what you feel. Okay, will attract and will give you the result on canvas, and a manifestation of how you are feeling and your intention will also give you a result in paranormal research.
Yeah.
Hopefully, that's the answer for me. Those are 2 things that both reside deep in my DNA.
Yeah.
Right inside every cell of every fiber of my being, and that is just pouring out yourself and reaching out, whether it be through oil on canvas or pen on paper, or as an author, as an artist, as a filmmaker, and as a paranormal investigator. It's a manifestation of your intention and what you put out coming back to you. That's what I feel the connection.
I love it.
To
And this last question, it means a lot to me because I have a group. It's called Your Paranormal, and our little slogan is like our goal is to help you start or grow your paranormal adventure. So just coming full circle here, because we started the podcast with "Let the Adventure Begin," and as we're closing off here, I think this question is just so well placed. What's your advice to someone who hasn't yet but wants to start their paranormal adventure?
Well, I get asked that question a lot, and I'll just give you the same answer that is always what I feel the case. For me, it's as simple as this: turn off the lights, turn off the TV, go to a quiet place in your house, if there is such a thing, or somewhere, and talk to someone that you can't see.
Yeah.
Right there and then. It's that simple. You don't need a $50 K2. You don't need a $1,000, thermal imaging camera. You don't need all of this stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Open your mind. An open mind is the best. An open mind and a heart full of love are the best two things that you can have to start your paranormal journey. Turn off the lights, have those two things.
Yes.
And reach out to someone that you can't see. Because when you get a response, hooked
forever.
Hooked forever, everyone.
Wow. Thank you, man.
That's it, my friend. Thank you so much, Rob. That was really good.
Yeah,
this one's going down in history. One of the best and the best. No, I don't want to make anyone feel bad now, but seriously, wow. And you know what? The answer to that last question, I mean, wow. Definitely. I've always said that you don't need the fancy stuff. You can buy a cheap recorder. Brian always suggests turning your phone on airplane mode and just using your phone as a digital recorder.
Exactly.
You don't need the fancy stuff, and you are so right. And wow, turn off the lights and just see who you can connect with. My house I live in a 100-year-old home, so you'll connect with somebody here. If you want to do that at my home, you'll connect with even more in my yard. It's just wow. Thank you, and so much to be learned from that end of the abyss section. It's just wow. Thank you. And with that, also, we are like a half hour over the time.
That's okay. I just don't feel bad. The dinner, the supper is I'll just chip it off.
Ice picks.
It's just decimated. I'll give it last rites. But you know what? I gotta say, this is one of the most amazing podcasts and amazingly productive and passionate interviews that I've had the honor of being a part of, and I want to thank you guys for having me on. It's really truly a blessing.
Thank you. It's an honor and a blessing to have you on, and I mean, so much to learn from you, and just so much insight. And there's and the paranormal community, it seems like there's a lot of people that kind of close off. They want to keep a lot of information for themselves, and you can tell you want to help get that out there, and help get the information out there and help people actually understand better.
Yeah,
there's no secret, right?
It's an ongoing process, isn't it? For all of us, and there's no you do that if you're conducting yourself right, and if you are reaching out and your intention is there and is wholesome, then just reach out and try different things, try what is fun. But the biggest and most important thing of all, just have a good time doing it. Enjoy yourself, be passionate, have great intention, have love in your heart, but enjoy yourself, have a great time, because that's what it's all about. They're not nitpicking about whether you stepped on someone's EVP. It's about love, enjoying each other, and loving spirit.
Definitely.
I love it, Rob. Where do we flow these people that listen to this entire podcast, that they fall in love with you? Where do we tell them to go? what's the best thing they can do to support you?
Well, that's there are a couple of places in terms of support. We do have a Patreon page at patreon.com/the Ghost Finders, where we appreciate the contributions people make to production, which helps us go, of course, and has for the last 10 years. The other thing is we're on all the social media as usual, at Facebook. It's at the Ghost Finders, and on Instagram. The Ghost Finders channel on Instagram and YouTube. So yeah, Heather's over here. Just give me. She's my audio prompter.
Hey, Heather's awesome. While
Heather's
you're doing the Into the Abyss segment there, she sent me the link to the evidence of the little girl. So
did she really?
She did. She is amazing. You have wow.
She really is. Yeah, she's my rock. And if I don't know if you want to bring it up or if you're able to bring it up. What I was talking about. I mean, I don't want to monopolize your show, but you did have me booked originally till 10. So, and then I was like,
yeah.
I want to talk to you guys all night long because your vibes, when your vibes gel, and there's not someone going, let's see, it's just beautiful. That's the blessing of spirituality. I don't know if you want to bring it up, what she sent you, or if you're able to, but it's from the Penhurst Asylum episode that I was talking about earlier in the interview, where there's a little girl in a hallway, 2 cameras side by side. One's infrared standard. The other one is thermal infrared.
Now this is, Rob, this is the real treat, because if you would have left and actually ate a hot dinner, a warm dinner, we would have had to enjoy this content without your commentary, without your insight. But now that we're sneaking a little bit of heat from your meal here, I think it'd be well worth it for everyone. So I'm excited.
My sacrifice to everybody.
Thank you.
And I need to make a few more of them before I go on camera next.
Yeah, I've got it pulled up here. And real quick, before we go into that, Brian Baum says, Selma Mansion is an awesome episode.
Thank you. Selma has a very special place in our hearts, and they are like family. It's an extraordinary place, and there's there are a couple of very kind of dynamic, I suppose you would say, personalities there. Not least of all, one being the major or the captain, who does not like men.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I mean, God, Selma Mansion. We gotta get back there. Fantastic place. Yeah, absolutely. What other comments have we got?
Actually, here, you know what? We can do that. So, we actually had a question where someone asked, I think it was Brian again. He asked, what is your favorite piece of equipment that you like to use?
Well, my favorite piece of equipment that I like to use is my gift.
Mm.
In terms of paranormal, in terms of physical tech equipment, it would have to be the PMB, the Paranormal Music Box, which actually is a fantastic piece of equipment, because unlike a lot of the equipment out there that looks like it just came off of the Starship Enterprise, bells and whistles and, the blinking lights, that some 15th, 16th, 17th century spirit would be like, what the heck? That's the devil's work. I'm out of here. would be like, it's not intimidating. It's just like,
Right.
okay, that's one of those. That's a music. I don't know what the light is, but okay. It's a music box. That's weird shape. Okay, that I know what it is. Yeah, okay, I can make that. And that's why I love it, because it's not intimidating to spirit. And it's entertaining. I mean, who doesn't like Simon and Garfunkel? Hello, Doctor.
Right.
Hello, friend.
I love playing music investigations.
Right, and you know what? The only place you can really buy the real deal is at ghosthuntingequipment.com. Ghost Augustine, our supporters for the last few seasons. They provide all of our paranormal equipment.
Nice. That's awesome.
But yeah, hopefully that answers your question.
Definitely. We have another really good question. Melvin Seaborn, he always brings the best questions. I don't know if this has been covered already, but how does Rob prepare before going into a trance? When in a trance state, is it like going to sleep and seeing a dream play out, or is it just darkness for a split second and then back to reality?
For me, it's like zoning out, and then you're not completely I wouldn't say sleeping. I'd say it was like lucid. You have, for me, and it does vary as well, but for me, for the most part, it's like I'll feel it coming in, like a tingling, like wading into a pool of electrically statically charged warm water that washes over me, and then in comes like a trap door opening, and then in comes hopefully something not too destructive. Like I said, I'm not a highly skilled medium. This is all I'm a 2 or 3 years into coming out and still developing this. So that's how it feels to me. It just feels like I'm suddenly awash with this energy. I go into like a lucid state, and it feels like the beginnings of when you're starting to drift off to sleep, and you know that it's imminent.
Yeah.
But that you still have some, like you're hearing echoes. Like I'll hear voices when I'm in that state.
Yeah.
That I won't even make out. And it'll also be echoes of the voices of the people in the room with me. How I get there, I just, like I said, I'll the Virgin House, for example, I sat in the grounds for an hour, and I just let myself go barefoot and earthed and charged, earthed all of my other preoccupying thoughts into the ground. And
okay.
So yeah, hopefully that answers that question.
Definitely. Wow, now we're getting a ton of questions coming in. Erin Kasmarsik, she says she's working on channeling because forever when spirit tried to talk to me, I would get like a face morphing. Think Pink Floyd The Wall, when the face comes out of the wall and yells. That's basically what happens to me. I don't have a control. How did you learn to control it? Now, what's interesting about this question is Brian Brown right after that asks, can you control when you're channeling, or can they do it, or do they all just come all at once and take over?
Yeah. The answer to that is the first question again. Sorry.
How do you learn to control it?
Well, so skills and it's what's within you. It's about developing the muscle that is the sort of spiritual muscle that's all encompassing, that's inside you. Teaching yourself a spiritual discipline to be able to say no, to be able to build up that spiritual bouncer on the door. Say, card, no,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Out, don't like the look of you. Wait there. Next, yeah, and that takes just. I mean, that's you're talking, years and years of to many people of trial and error, and it's still happening. I'm not there yet. I haven't built up that filter yet. I'm getting there. I'm on my way. But that's one of the things that scares me most. It's like leaving your house front door open at night. Living in the Bronx.
All living in the Bronx.
Well, depending on where you're investigating.
Yeah.
That is accurate.
I mean, yeah.
And what was the other one?
The next question was, can you control when you're channeling, or do they just come at random and take over?
So I think I answered that one too.
Yeah, you did. Wow. Because honestly, I had an investigation where Brian and we kind of did these paranormal challenges, and I was put to my test as an empath, and I was really kind of nervous. So I went in and I double shielded. I learned a lot about myself, my limits, and my strengths. And that's all as you kind of go on, no matter how sensitive you are and what way you tap into spirit or whatever, you're always learning, and you're gonna gain that confidence. You're gonna gain that strength. Honestly, that investigation and all these 10 years and that one investigation I did with Brian, I learned a lot about myself and my ability of protecting myself. And I learned it's just a really big aha investigation for me. Like people call it a moment. This whole night taught me a lot. I don't have as much to worry about as I thought.
No, and it's funny, isn't it? How the paranormal does that. It really you become, it inverts you. So you just turn around and look into yourself and see who you are, what you are. And for me, it has been instrumental. And the people I've been around, I'm fortunate to have the most beautiful, wonderful, hardworking, sacrificing, talented, gifted team around me that make the show what it is, not me. And I'm humbled, to have these guys as my family. That's key, because you take on the characteristics spiritually and otherwise of the people that you surround yourself with.
That kind of chemistry, I literally just blanket as magic.
It is magic, isn't it? Yeah.
When you roll with different people, and then you hit that sweet spot, it's just, we're not just creating memories here. This is magic that we're going to remember for years to come. Yeah, I like that.
It's life-changing experiences that you'll never forget.
Yeah, when you get when you get an email back, you guys were so professional. The place was tidier than when you found it. I've been wanting to sweep the passageway and the out for years. Yeah, and you were so professional, respectful, etc., etc. Well, that's your job's done, and every single one of us. It's not a competition. It's not about egos. It's not about us. It's not about we're not there. It's the talent isn't the isn't the destination. We're part of the journey. The talent is of course the unseen, or sometimes unseen, and we're the vehicle to bring that, hopefully, to the viewers. I think when you're humble and you're able to understand and realize that you'll get better results that way. Then
definitely.
And so it's never going to be 100% grounding, 100% blocking out, but it's less of that. It's more of the holistic journey and repetition, and they continue to help people and continue to have these memories, and it will come.
Yeah, I mean, experience, confidence, all of that, the intention, all of that together.
Yeah, Derek Akora, who passed a year and 2 months ago, right before his 70th birthday, was such a kind and a gentle soul, such an old soul, such a genuinely talented individual. And like the media do, that you put yourself out there, you're going to be scrutinized. If you're not thick-skinned, then you're in the wrong business. I'm talking about the TV side of this. And to be able to have imparted that on me before he left this life experience is something that I will always cherish with our friendship. And I think that it behooves us to do the same and to have a positive influence like that on people in our journey of this life experience, our segment of this gigantic, never-ending journey. And you can do that just by being a good person. You can do that in so many ways each and every day that you start out. But whether you're a medium, an empath, an investigator starting out, or whatever category or pigeonhole you want to put yourself into, have a good time. Have a good time and do it with love in your heart. And you can't go wrong. Can't go wrong.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that for sure. Yeah, definitely. There's some other comments here. There's a comment here from Casey Breen. Honestly, I just hate to ignore this comment. This really seems like something that's more personal. So I don't know if this is something that you'd be able to help at a personal level or how or anything. But so she says, "Hi, Rob. You're amazing. Your body language and spiritual always is a beautiful thing. I need some help for my daughter who's 11. She sees 20 figures that torment her, and one recently puts a gun to her head every single night. She's in her bed trying to go to sleep. I really need help, as I don't know if Ella has spiritual connections or if it's a form of schizophrenic."
I want to ask a couple questions back. Thank you, by the way. I appreciate the compliments and I appreciate the question. How long has this been going on? I suppose would be my first, question. And how long have you lived in the house where this is happening?
Yeah, is there like a control? Like, have you moved houses, kind of deal?
Yeah.
Is this something that's following, or is this?
Oh, yeah.
And how long has it been going on? Since she's been 3. So this has been going on for a long time.
For 8 years.
Her entire life.
Right.
I mean, from a 3-year-old to an 11-year-old. I mean, that's like as soon as you're starting, your mind is growing. You're gaining touch with reality, right? That's when you're absorbing everything.
Casey says it's following her. Okay, so and you obviously don't answer the question if it's too personal or invasive. Decline, and that's fine because obviously we're not in private. But I'd love to be able to help in any way I can. I would ask, if with her there have been traumatic early childhood experiences, such as a messy divorce, for example, or a member of the family, maybe some violent interactions that she's witnessed, maybe not even the family, maybe friends or something that she's seen that she shouldn't have seen. She sees them bleeding and so forth. What I mean by that is there something that happened during her early childhood when she was 3, that could have triggered or imprinted that type of energy on her? I'm not implying that it's a psychological event. Okay, yes. But of course, that's the first thing that we have to consider.
Right.
Okay. I
Definitely.
have to be more specific. Is it something that is relatable to, trying to be discreet here, to something to these images that she's seeing with the gun and the 20 people? Family violence. Okay.
That'll do it.
All right. So, yeah. So she is coming towards her adolescence, and she's she's carrying this energy and these imprints of what happens. Our tender minds are forming through those years, and so to be able to has she had any type of counseling, because of or professional counseling, from some of the stuff that she's witnessed, I suppose would be my first. I know there's a lot of questions, and before I give you answers, but, I need to know more about the case. I think that it is my feeling that she is surrounded by guardians that want to protect her, but that traumatic events that she is right. Okay. Yes or not?
Yes.
Okay. That she is, being bear witness to, have caused a lot of trauma and damage that needs to come out. So I would say, hard to find. Yeah, it is hard to open up. There's a, if you can find by a process of elimination, really is the only way to do it, not by a photo. You can't do it by a whatever, but a therapist that really connects with her. The only way that you can do that, unfortunately, is to just meet, talk. You'll know within the first couple minutes whether they connect, in a deep way, because there has to be that connection and that depth, that connection and that trust, before she can open up and start to spill out all of this terrible, psychological bile that has been built up. That this demons or spirits tell her not to say anything, because very possibly that there's a negative energy in that house that is feeding off of that trauma, and it doesn't want its food supply cut. It doesn't want its energy supply cut. It's happy that those negative feelings are coming out from her. It's like a negative, it's like a negativity generator. So my first thing I would suggest is this: to do a thorough house cleansing from top to bottom, window to window, doorway, archway, level to front door, then shut the front door, boom, done. Lord's Prayer, depending on your denomination or your faith. Again, top to bottom, hold a candle or burn some incense as well. Fresh cut roses in rooms all around the place. Everything that you can think of that's really deeply positive, beautiful, wonderful. Play some childhood, some videos, look through albums together of people, that loved ones that are with you, to sort of summon them to your spirit, to your side, and just do that just relentlessly. Just do it for every day for a week. Even if things start to improve, which they will, just carry on. Just relentlessly smother that negative energy, if it's there, with love. I one time went up to someone, and it's been so shockingly horrible to me for so many years. And I said, and I hadn't met before. This is irony. They didn't know me. And I said, I want to thank you. I found inner strength because of your hate. And for that, I love you. Thank you. And they were like, but they were like, so like stunned. Guess what? It all stopped. It all stopped. Love is everything. So what I want you to do, I want you to do that. That's the unrelenting love. Don't try and Christy sort of really evoke that in everything from the moment you wake up. Hold yourself to it before you say anything negative. Try and go a whole day without saying anything remotely negative about anyone. And if you're a family like most families, that's a really hard thing to do, because it is, because there's a real world. But above and beyond that, at the same time, start making appointments for child psychologists to see who you can find that connects with her on a really deep, soulful, spiritual level, and just begin that therapy. Don't just give up because the first, it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be like, you're not going to go and have a picnic, and it'll be like, oh, let's put this in the memories. And but it's got to be done, because it's just going to get worse and worse if you don't. So this way, you're covering both planes. You're covering the cause of the problem and the nightmares and her visions, okay? And then you're causing what's aggravating that, if it's there, a negative entity that's there feeding off of those negative energies and negative feelings and fear. And let me know. I'm on Facebook, Rob Thompson, Spirit Medium. Please, keep me posted and let me know if there's any other way I can help whatsoever. And let us know, how she's doing. And God bless.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Rob, so much. Casey does say, I was going to bring a priest in to cleanse the house, and she does do smudging in her home, which is great. I smudge. I probably don't do it enough, but I probably do it like once every other month. With having 3 kids, I should probably do it more. But if I were dealing with a situation like that, I'd probably be smudging every day. And I would definitely be learning the St. Michael prayer. That St. Michael has guided me and protected me and my family through so much. Before I got into the paranormal, there was stuff that we had to deal with. And it was all through, honestly, Archangel Michael, he helped a lot.
Yeah, and your angels and your spiritual guardians are there, and they're there for a reason. So teach her that, that they're there to protect her as well as whatever your denomination or your faith and your belief, as well as the Lord. If you have, if there's a, this is another good thing. Maybe you could tell her as well. Immediately switch channels. Make those thoughts like you're viewing them on a TV screen. Then pick up the remote when they start to happen, the people assembling and the gun getting ready, boom, change the channel. I want you to tell Ella, okay, if she's still there with us, I want you to tell your daughter Ella to change the channel, to take the leap of faith and know that nothing can hurt her, and you will remove the power. You'll starve this entity of any power if it's there, and then take care of all the psychological stuff. And again, by finding, even if you've got to go to 20 different people, someone who connects with her.
So what you're saying is it's a war on 2 fronts. It's the fear and negativity, remove it from inside and the house, and then finding someone like a life coach to help you, get everything out and progress.
And make a big fuss about it after with the smudging, and that she could be there too, and a happy thing, not I saw they were cast into the like from The Exorcist or something, like Sing it. Sing the Lord's Prayer. You know, I love those Baptist. It's like that. That to me is the church that I want to be a part. It's like they're singing. It's not about
They're dancing.
repent their very existence. And I'm not. To each their own. Not knocking any Catholics or anything. But that's happiness, joy, love, singing, laughter, fresh cut flowers, happiness. It can't survive in that environment. All right. It's like cancer can't survive in a alkaline environment, okay, in your body. So alkalize your home and your mind and your heart. Don't allow it in. Laughter, which is my favorite sound in the whole wide world, children's laughter. But laughter and happiness and love, darkness can't come close. Get that help, cover all your bases, even if there's nothing there, and try all of that, and then please come back and let us know how you're doing, because 11 is a really tender age.
Oh, it really is. All right. She says, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for talking with me. I will definitely contact you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Bless you.
And thank you, Rob. I really appreciate it. Every once in a while, people come across our show and they really do need help. And it's hard to reach out, especially in a public forum like this. It's hard to reach out for help sometimes. And trust me, as a parent myself, I understand. So
yeah.
And Rob, thank you for being so willing.
Oh, anything I can ever do, please just let me know. I mean, again, this is why this is why we're put on this earth, whoever we are. And thank you so much, guys. This has just been one of the most thoroughly enjoyable and prolific, shows podcasts that I've been on in a while.
Thank you.
One of a few.
Thank you. Yeah, don't want to get yourself in trouble.
I hope you'll have me back.
Oh, we would love to. So many more questions. So much more to dive into. So much more of the abyss to get lost in.
Yeah, right.
What a rabbit hole,
Oh yes.
What better time to go down a rabbit hole than right before Easter?
Yeah. Oh,
yes.
There you go.
I like it.
Cocky egg.
Yes, for sure.
All right. Well,
awesome. So, Rob, I also want to thank you for telling me about the COSM, QOSM. COSM. Because honestly, I thought that VidiSpace was gone. I was trying, and now I have it back. I found it, and I'm so excited. So I get to watch your new episodes. I know you guys have new episodes coming out, and I know Nick Rolfe has new stuff out that I've missed out on these past couple of weeks.
Yeah, they got some great stuff. The Death Walker, and the special that is going to be a pay-per-view event that's coming out on Quasm. There's going to be you'll be hearing that on our Facebook page. More about that in the next day or two, and a little trailer. It's powerful stuff. I think you're going to love it. But yeah, Quasm is the graduation to another level, a whole new level of excellence in paranormal content, progressing from where VidiSpace left off. So
I love it.
Erin hold on. She's saying, Shawn, please ask my question. Erin, hold on.
And this is the last round. This is the last one.
Yeah, this is it. This is it. She's just said, please ask my question. So I want to. I love how you talk about grounding. She says, I love how you talk about grounding because I have to go barefoot next to a tree and meditate for 15 minutes or so before I do anything, or it's all overwhelming for me. And sometimes I honestly have been scared at what spirit has tried to show me. Have you ever been like, stop, this is too much for me?
Oh, yeah. Only 3 or 4 times a day. Or more. I'm just I couldn't, for me, I couldn't get by without without the ability to just do that. And I mean, it doesn't matter. You don't have to live. I live in the mountains next to a big lake and a you know, a creek. I'll just go out in the morning, just walk barefoot around outside. And if it's not like 20 below, you know, put my feet in the creek, you know, or just hug a tree. I don't, my own, like, to each their own. It doesn't matter. Whatever works for you. And earthing isn't just about grounding yourself spiritually. It's about getting rid of all of that stuff, that junk in your head that you don't want to. So instead, just hold it there for a second, downstairs or outside or wherever it is you live. You know, unless it's a 100-story skyscraper, then don't hold your breath. And just get your shoes off. Boom, done. Stand in your. As long as it's grass, as long as it's attached to the planet, everything is attached to the planet. But yeah, grounding is everything for me. And honestly, best thing you can do when you wake up, and the best last thing you can do when you go to bed, preferably in the summer. You know.
Right.
Yeah. So
definitely.
And the impression I got was, if it's a mental sticking point, even though it's scary, it, you know, whenever perfect and shielding and repetition is going to help, but also just keeping in mind, no one has the gift that you guys have, and being able to positively impact people like that, that should be always in the back of your mind. If you're scared, there's a reason why we're working this muscle. There's a reason that spiritual muscle. There's a reason why we're doing this and overcoming our fears. It's for those people that you want to help.
Yeah. I mean, and going back to what I was saying to Christy about, you know, her daughter, and anyone can really sort of do this, is try, and when things start coming into your head and you're really feeling a little bit weak or just vulnerable, you know, and no, I don't want that in my head. Get out, you know, like, you know. Where did that come from? Oh God, the Kardashians, get lost, you know. And just like switch the channel, switch the channel. You might sound like, oh yeah, nice, easy to say, but it actually works. It's like, well, I don't watch TV. No, okay, it's a library book.
Yeah,
Get that book out, okay,
right.
Library off the shelf that you hate, that you don't want to see again. Walk over, and instead of over to the lady at the desk, all right, walk past her, and then the second door on the right, there's a waste bin. Drop that book into the waste bin.
Yeah.
You won't, just
I've had to do that many times too, you know, just like, nope, I'm not thinking about this now. This is not, just like changing the subject. When someone brings up a topic you don't want to talk about, change the subject.
Like those vampire, those energy vampires.
Oh,
we all have friends, you know, one friend who's the energy vampire, hopefully not more than one, but or family member, or both.
Right.
And that was interesting, Shawn. There was a couple faces just popped into your head. And so, you know, we can only allow them to affect us. We have the key. It's not like, well, I'm glad you're in. I got to tell you, so and so happened. You know, come by, and do you know that son of a bit? You know, you say, I love you, but I can't. I can't take. I refuse to ingest this right now. Okay. I'm happy to talk about, you know, helping you in any way I can, but we need to talk in person, and that time isn't now. I mean, with my family right now, or I'm in the middle of this or whatever. You can do that same thing as you can on the phone. You can do that same thing spiritually, mentally, whether you're in person, whether you're on the phone, or whether you're in a chat room with someone who's talking shit, you know, that.
Yeah.
I don't own that. I don't now, and I won't ever. Boom.
Definitely.
End of story. Sean Gilmore knows. Sean Gilmore and that lovely lady and lovely lady that popped up there. So I'm sure she's the sweetheart, deep down inside.
Wow. Okay. She is. She is. I definitely. But to be honest, before I go and see her, if I'm going somewhere, I know she's going to be there. I no matter where I go anywhere, I have to like shield it. So I have to get better at it, but I try to shield, especially if I'm going to like a house party or something, because you never know what you're going to come across. With her, if I know she's going to be there, I don't forget. I do not forget. Like I need to like walls are up.
And right? Before you even go, and I'm not talking about looking at the cars that are outside. If she's there before you even look at the cars that are outside. You're like, yeah, she's there. I can feel it. And fair enough. It's a double-sided sword. Double-edged sword. Because all swords are double-sided. Shut up, Rob. But you get my meaning. Is that as a medium, as an empath, as a sensitive, whatever, labels are for food. The negative aspect of that obviously being that when you walk into a room, if there's people there that don't necessarily think the way you do or don't necessarily like you or whatever, that's not sort of like there. That's like, oh, what's he doing there? Boom, boom, mentally, and you're like, oh, great, now I feel fantastically welcome. You've got a shield from that too.
Yeah.
And I've been around other mediums that have been like, oh, it's up a medium. I'm the and
I'm the best. Yeah, I've noticed there is that a little bit of that with a lot of mediums. Like mediums, like they get competitive.
But you know what? That's ego, all right. And the ego is the biggest. It's the biggest destroyer of spiritual energy, of positive energy. So we got to leave that ego aside. 99% of the mediums that I've worked with or that I've met have been just such absolutely wonderful people, because you have to be. It's like you're not going to meet a nurse that's a selfish person. You go into the medical field, you're there to help people. So, yeah, that's a very, very tiny minority. And so. God, you're going to really literally let me talk all bloody night, aren't you?
We could. And we could listen to you talk all night. I think and we still have people watching too. And so,
really? Good Lord.
Yeah, we do. So, but with that though, it is 12 minutes after. So guys, go, if you don't already have the costume, go and subscribe. Get the content, watch the Ghost Finders. To start, if you have Amazon Prime, I think a lot of people tend to have that. Go find them there. You can even find their good original stuff on YouTube. So they're out there, and it's worth it. It really is. You won't be disappointed. And Rob, man, thank you so much for coming on, guys. I don't know if the other show is coming on after us. I think I'm going to have to owe them an apology. I promised everyone a clip. I'm going to play the clip at the end. Rob, if you want to stick around, please feel free. But I understand if you want to go warm up your cold dinner. I understand.
That's okay. Brian already destroyed any chance of any remote. Yeah, no, Brian, I'm going to mail you this food, and I'm going to make you eat it. No, it's good. It's good. No, it's all good. Anything and everything to do with the paranormal and that can, is a beautiful thing. It's a wonderful thing. It's our passion, right? Collectively. Mm-hmm. So we're all a big family.
Thank you. Definitely. That's how we all learn from each other. That's to me in the paranormal community, there seems to be, again, a competition. It shouldn't be that way. It should be collaborative.
No, with the paranormal police that say, sorry, you're under arrest for turning the K2 on the wrong way.
All right. There's no wrong. I agree. There is no wrong way. It's what works for you. Aaron says you're absolutely amazing.
Thank you so much, Aaron. And thank you guys for having me. I'm absolutely honored. And I do apologize for holding up your next guest if I have.
No. We don't have another guest coming on. I think there used to be a show that comes on RU Media after us, and I think they just kind of like come and go. But we used to have before Brian was a co-host on the show, he was a guest on the show, and I think we were on until like 1 a.m. So we used to have no.
It was hilarious. It was a wild night.
It was. Adam Kimmel. He actually we used up all of on Spreaker. We also broadcast live on Spreaker. We used up all of the daily time that RU Media has on Spreaker.
Adam's amazing. Yeah, Adam's amazing. Resident Undead is. I mean, God, it's such a fantastic show. I mean, and one of my favorites. But we haven't met. But I hope to. That's on my bucket list as well, Madison Sim.
Definitely. I mean, and though I like how they do that. Those ripples. It's really a good way to kind of get spirit attention.
Yeah, very good. Powerful.
Let us know. Let us know when you do Madison.
Yes, because we are not far from Madison.
Okay, absolutely. Dan, set it up.
Perfect.
Awesome. Okay, so guys, I promised everyone this clip. This clip is only like a minute long, so I'm going to go ahead and play this clip, guys. I am going to. We're not going to do we're lucky enough to have Rob stay for the entire show. So, guys, I'm just going to tell you guys the clip I was going to have you guys watch is on season 1, episode 2. Watch the whole thing; you won't be disappointed. And instead, we're going to watch this awesome clip of an experience that they had at Penhurst on a FLIR. If it opens. All right. And we are going to go.
Oh my God. No person in the doorway. You kidding? Oh. It's okay.
Can you come in here, honey?
Come on in.
Come on in. We have some chocolate on the table for you.
Come on in, honey. Don't be afraid.
Whoa.
Can you walk right between Heather and I and come grab a piece of chocolate off the table? It's for you. Did you see that? She goes, yeah. I think you're beautiful.
Oh, she said, oh my God.
You're a beautiful little girl. You want to come closer? We won't hurt you, I promise.
Does it move, Rob?
It's gone now?
Yeah.
Okay, now go back and sit down and see if you get the same view.
Wow.
Yeah, her face did turn. Wow.
Yeah. It turned for sure.
And then it sort of all sort of exploded. Like,
Yeah.
Like it was
Yeah.
like it was like a vortex open or
Oh.
up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Great stuff.
Oh wow, that is gold though. That is like that is why people spend $1,500 on a FLIR camera. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Of course, nowadays, since that was 9 years ago, now you can get them as a attachment for your phone.
It's true.
For a couple $100, $150, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. You can get them around that price. When I was on Ectovision, we had a really big FLIR camera. It was a very expensive camera, and we had to connect the DVR to it in order to be able to record to it. And so we're walking around with the handheld camera, and then you have the DVR box. So you like have the DVR like in your pocket or somewhere safe, because heaven forbid you don't want to mess up any of those cords, because then you're not recording with But so now, yes, you get it on their phone, and then it's a lot easier. And it's a lot less expensive. But those cameras are still available.
Yeah.
If people still want, or if you're able to spend that kind of money, then fantastic. Because honestly, with those the more expensive cameras, they do have a better picture quality, and it's more defined than the phones. But I think that the phones work just fine. I've actually looked into getting those myself.
What we sometimes use as well is on our aerial, on our drones, is we will attach a thermal to the drone, and so to be able to see corridors and from the outside, which spirit might not necessarily think, well, this isn't something they can do. Hard to hide when you're looking from the outside in. On the fifth floor, not something that's expected. And I got to tell you, there's some tech coming out for our new season that is just going to blow you away. But that's going to wait a little while for that, and for COVID to subside. But
I think that was the best way to end the podcast. I mean, that was an awesome clip, especially when she did that. I love it.
Definitely. Yes, good stuff. Melvin Seaborn has a really good podcast.
Hi, Melvin.
And he always comes up with the best questions. And it's so it's always nice when he comes on. So thank you, Melvin, for coming on. Aaron, always great to see you. Everybody, History and Headlines, everybody, Glory be. I want to give a special thank you to Casey for sharing that private experience that you're having with your family. And everyone, thank you for just making tonight so special. Rob, thank you again for coming on. It's honestly amazing.
The pleasure was all mine. I hope you have me back on soon. And now, Brian, don't feel bad at all. I'm going to go and scrape what's left of the bread off the plate. What's right there.
Definitely. Hey, I know. Originally, you gave us an hour, and now we're at 2.5 hours.
2.5. And you wait till you get the bill. Oh my God. I thought he was a nice guy. All right.
Hey, Rob, thank you again. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. We hope we helped everyone over this Wednesday, this wonderful hump day, and help you slide into the weekend. Everyone, thank you again for tuning in. Have a great rest of your week. And with that,
ta-ta.
This paranormal adventure that we're all on, it connects us. This is our paranormal community. This is our paranormal podcast with your host, Shawn Gilmore.
He's worked in the paranormal field for 10 years.
He was featured on the TV show Paranormal Survivor that airs on Travel Channel.
His passion is creating para-unity.
With your host, Brian Mersel.
He's worked in the paranormal field for 7 years.
He leads his own paranormal team.
He wants to help people start their paranormal adventure or grow their existing one. This is our paranormal adventure. This is our paranormal community. This is our paranormal podcast.
It's about
supporting. It's about making para-unity a real thing, because we all need to support each other within our community. And that's what the show has always been about.